As many of you probably already know, there was a vote in Filer yesterday on it's the latest effort to get a school bond passed, and this has gone down to defeat again. It does not seem as if it's getting any better too as well when it comes to percentages among vote total. But it does leave open the door. Is there an alternative proposal that could be put together or something along those lines? Julie Coyle, I think she's been on the radio show now 4 times talking about, probably figured you would only need to do this once.
Yeah, I was hoping not too many more times, but here I am again.
Julie has been working on at least trying to present this project publicly for, gosh, a year now at least, right?
Yes.
And through 2 votes,
Yeah.
and both votes coming out negative. And we wanted to point out, too, as well, if you've got a comment or question, you could reach her on the program today at 208-736-0300. And we're at 56 now. Bill Cowley with you on Magic Valley this morning. First of all, with all of the effort, that the legwork that so many of you have put into this, and a lot of you are just simply doing this in your own time, and you just call yourselves concerned citizens, there's got to be a point where you say to yourself, okay, do we throw in the towel, or is there some sort of sweet spot we just have not yet found?
Well, I'd like to think there's a sweet spot that we haven't found yet. I know that as a part of the Long Range Planning Committee, um, planning is one of the most important things we can do for our district. And finding what that plan will be, we know what we need in the district, but finding how that will work with the community and what the community will help us with is where we need to get into that spot.
I don't think
Um,
anybody's going to though say that you weren't asking for gold-plated fixtures in classrooms
No,
and
no, no, no. I think what was part of the bond was things that the district actually needs. We had a company come out and go through every aspect of our district, the buildings, the programs, everything, the enrollment, and really dig down deep into what the district needed as far as immediate needs. And these were our immediate needs. And I think there are things we can do to tweak it, but the one of the things that we felt as chairman of the committee, Jim Hughes and I, is that the downfall of this bond was the land on the bond, and we don't think it was a bad thing to have in the bond. It is a need of our district. Land is never going to get any cheaper right now, and we're never going to find another piece of land this close to our needs as far as in the city limits. It's not in the city limits, but it's right there. Everything else we're going to have to expand out from here on out.
well,
Go
the,
ahead.
the district, obviously the city of Twin Falls has the biggest district in the county. I'm going to guess, though, that Filer's pretty close to second biggest,
We're in the running right there. I don't know the
especially,
numbers, but
but
I
distance,
know.
it's spaced at the number of the volume. I mean,
Oh, as
stretching all the
far
way.
as acreage,
Yeah,
yeah, we probably are one of the biggest because we have our zone 5, which is all of Hollister, clear out to the border of Nevada.
yeah.
We go from Filer to Nevada. We cover all that ground out there. So as far as acreage, I would agree. We probably are right there in the running.
So you've got also one of the fastest. We talked about this last week. You got one of the fastest growing communities too in southern Idaho, and there's no signs. I mentioned this earlier on the program. There's some people who say we may be headed for a recession, but that does not. There's no indication that means that things will slow down. People will still be coming to Idaho because they'll look at Idaho as being a cheaper alternative, perhaps, to
Well,
where they are.
and a refuge from whatever they've been in.
Right. Yes.
So, yeah, we foresee that we're going to keep growing. It might not be at the rate that some people have thought previously, but change is inevitable, whether it's a school buying property or a developer buying property, it's going to happen. Change happens and growth happens in a city. Our little town is like, no, we don't want to grow. I've been hearing this kind of pullback on,
Right.
we want to stay little. We have this little hometown feel, and it's true. It's a great feel, but growth is inevitable. It's happening, and it will continue to grow. And we want to be prepared. By this bond not passing, I feel like now we're getting behind the ball even more than we already were on what needs to be done. So, as a member of the Long Range Planning Committee, we're gonna get back to it, meet again, try and figure out where that sweet spot is, and go on with our phases. Whether we have to work those phases a little bit differently. We feel like our long range plan is a great plan. It's what our district needs, and we feel like the people that want it didn't come out and vote. The younger generation. We feel like the older generation really are concerned about their taxes, which is understandable. We all have to pay taxes as part
Mhm.
of being a citizen. Um, and but those younger kids, I would say probably uh, 30 and younger, maybe. I don't know. Didn't We don't feel like we pulled them in to vote this time.
Maybe you didn't see as many parents as I guess you thought you would.
Right, right. I felt all of the advertising that we did, whether it was um, knocking doors, flyers that went out, we went to all the school registrations, and while I was there, I just noticed a lot of "I'm too busy, I can't deal with this right now," and they were on their way.
Right. School was starting too, and I
School
think
was
a lot of
starting. Yeah,
them.
there is a lot going on, but um, as part of the Filer district, it's important to be informed, to know the issues, and know that this impacts your kids. It impacts uh, the whole town, and district. So
We've got a caller. I don't know if you've got. I don't think the caller just decided to hang it up, but uh, I do want to mention you can reach Julie at 208-736-0300. That's 208-736-0300 if you have a question or comment. And you referenced this point that yes, it would be nice to maintain that small town feel, but it's not like you can put up a barrier around
yeah,
Filer and say don't come here.
yeah,
That's simply not going to work. And I think when Mr. Haney was here last week, I think he was referencing, I don't know how many homes are platted at this point, but that you've already got a number.
right.
You're looking at the things that are already planned.
Yeah, there's
Uh,
quite a few developers that have already come in and bought land. It's just still being farmed,
right.
not developed yet, but it's sitting there with waiting, and ready to be developed. So we've got a lot going on, and which I think it's great for our community, and our the growth. Our tax base will grow. Like it's great for all of us for growth. One thing that I had visited with a few of the county commissioners about was involving their opinion on growth, and what it's going to take to get our county roads in a situation that we can handle this growth. Right now, one of the concerns is safety on some of those roads that are right by the school. The kids are going. We need to work with our county to make that better for the residents there and for the students' safety. So I think collaborating with others in getting this bond in the place that we need it to pass is a big key also.
Where do you go from here? I mean, do you just stand back for a while and then reconsider, come up with a smaller plan? There's any number of options, I guess you have.
So I haven't had time to. I've talked to a few people on the committee. I haven't had time to visit much with the superintendent or any of the board members since last night. But my feel is go out for it again as soon as we can. We just need to find, like you said, that sweet spot. We have needs. We have great needs in our district. Our vocational programs, safety issues. We need to get those needs taken care of, and that's always going to be a part of a community when you live in a community. We have to take care of these things, and I think getting the word out to the younger voters on how important it is to come out and vote is part of that. So I think moving forward from here, get right back in it and figure out where we need to be.
There's some of those safety issues, and we had this discussion last week, and we've had it, I think, on previous appearances. Comes down to just how busy that Route 30 corridor is,
Yeah.
and you've got two schools facing it,
Yes.
from opposite sides, and there's got to be a lot of concerns, that somebody comes flying through there. People sometimes, I think, who aren't familiar with the area, if they come up Route 93 and they make that turn and they start heading down Route 30, if they miss that speed zone sign, there's got to be some concerns. You're trying to avoid someday having something tragic happen.
Well, lots of tragic things have happened on that 2330 intersection already. And so it is definitely a big concern. And working with the state highway district and the county to make our roads safer, whether they're monitored more, whether we put in sidewalks, it's going to have some type of growth as far as improvements to make it safe. And it's coming. So we have to work with them to make it how it will be best benefit for the kids and for the residents that live here.
I think we've got a caller looking to join us. And do you have a headset on the table there? Or should be one. If, there should be. Yeah, there's got to be a couple of them. Some of my guests have been moving them around the last few days. We've got a caller. Caller, you're up next. You're on the air on KLIX with Julie Coyle.
Yeah, the problem with the bond is you had a bond for a water problem years and years.
Hey, look, can you turn the radio down just so we can actually hear a little bit? You're competing with the sound of the radio.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I went and asked them when are they going to fix this problem so that we don't have to pay $140 a month every month for years and years and years. And they said, oh, that's been fixed a long time ago. But we're going to leave the bond on, and you're going to get stuck with the bill forever. And that's what people are scared of when they get a bond is when will it end?
When will it end?
Good question. Yeah. You know, as long as I've been paying taxes, I've been paying on a bond, and I can you know, say that to a lot of people. When you live in a community, you have schools. There's going to be a need for improvement. There's always needs. And one of the things that one of the patrons mentioned to me was when we go out for bond, we dictate as a community where that money will be spent and what programs it will go to as far as building. And when we don't have a bond and we do receive funds from the state or federal funds, they're mandated on being spent in a certain place. So there are ups and downs of bonds, but being part of a community and a U.S. citizen, we pay taxes, and we want to be able to dictate what that money is spent on, and that's the good part of a bond. There will always be bonds. There will always be a need for improvement, and I think planning is a really important part of bonds. We can plan so it doesn't hit people as hard and in the long run. And so bond planning is super important along with the long range planning committee working with the community to make that possible so that it doesn't hit people so hard.
I want to thank the caller, but there was a moment there, and I don't know if it was just he misspoke, or if it was just he said $140 a month, and this was not going to add $140 a month to anyone's tab.
Correct.
Maybe a year, but not.
So a lot of people were thinking the taxes would go up, and as the representative of the planning committee, we can't say whether your taxes will go up or down. What we recommend to the board to do is keep our levy rate steady. We really try hard to keep our levy rate from changing, whether it's a big drastic down or a big drastic up, so that people can plan. You know, they're always going to be paying taxes. They're always going to be something to do. But if we can plan and keep that as steady as possible, people will know, not be surprised by something as far as the levy rate going up. Now the levy rate is computed on your property taxes. So if your property taxes go up, obviously the rate's going to go up. If your property tax goes down, then you know it's going to go down as far as what the county is collecting for the bond, because we try and keep, whether it's up or down, that levy rate is going to stay the same. So, or that's our goal.
We've got to take a short break, but before we do, we'll just mention Julie Coyle joining us in studio this morning. And once again, the bond issue in the Filer School District went down to defeat as of last night's total, the vote totals, and probably not as close as people expected it would be. And we'll talk a little bit more about this in just a few minutes, because there are probably a number of things, though, that people would find acceptable, and maybe it's about prioritizing what those would be. We'll get back to that in just a few minutes. It's coming up on 20 minutes after 9 o'clock. We've got a short break. It's 58. Bill Colley with you on News Radio 1310 KLIX and News Radio. Julie Coyle joining us today, and she was a part of the committee that looked into this bond that went down to defeat again in Filer School District. That was last night when they finished counting the votes that was realized, and she's spending a few more minutes with us on News Radio 1310 KLIX and newsradio1310.com. It's 9:22. We're at 58. Bill Colley with you too on Magic Valley this morning. Priorities, and maybe you go back to the drawing board and maybe you say, okay, Are there some things that would be acceptable to everyone, or mostly everyone, that we could start with, and then maybe a few years down the road come back and revisit? Because some of these things are urgent, obviously.
Right. Yeah. Definitely. The one that got the most, I guess, comments to me as far as, oh my goodness, yes, we need to fix that immediately, would be the Filer Elementary School parking drop off pickup. We really don't have a drop off pickup zone there, and we definitely need that. And then and the safety issues there are huge. So that was a huge one. And then the career technical programs at the high school, that was the biggest part of our bond, and and the I guess the effect that it would have on the students and the community as far as producing kids that can actually have these vocational skills and go out and get jobs, be a society where we put kids in that can build our society here. That's what these programs are for, and that's huge. So I don't see taking those things off the table at all. Improvements in safety issues, all the parking there at Hollister, the auditorium, and those things I know I did not hear any negative comments towards any of the things. The only thing, taxes going up, taxes is what I hear people talking about, and then the land. And I know, just talking to, like I said, I went and talked with a few of our county commissioners and about what land issues that they would have they have had, and what their recommendation would be as far as taking care of the issues there, and it would be to sell the land that the district currently owns and then go out and buy land. Now the district didn't want to be stuck in a hard place without land, and so that's where we have such a push and pull there, is because we previously had bought land because it was the only available land that we could get 10 years ago, and now we're kind of stuck. If we sell it, then we have no land. Then obviously people are going to raise their prices knowing that the district doesn't have land, and then we'll be paying more.
And
So
you need room for expansion at some point.
yes, definitely need room for expansion, definitely. So
Well, and so the parcel you were looking for, once the thinking was, if you could get your hands on that, purchase that. Maybe that's a
yes.
better way to phrase that. Purchase that and then turn around and sell the other parcel.
Correct. That was our idea, and use that money that is off of the land that we sell to put on towards the bond. Now, I've heard, we don't know exact numbers on that. What money will we get from the land? How will it work? No, we don't know all the details. We know that we need to plan for the future. We know that the land will only go up in price. We know that there will be no available land close to the city available. That this was the last parcel that we have found that is close in proximity. There is another parcel over on the west side of town that the district would work great, but there's some family issues as far as what if they want to sell or not sell, or and anyway, it's a long story on that end of
But
it.
even but from a standpoint too, just from having a campus, you want to get as much contiguous land as you can versus, let's say, because if you end up buying 4 or 5 different parcels, and you got buses running back and
Yeah.
forth, and
Yeah, and as a district, we have busing issues already as far as being able to get them in and out of the schools in a timely fashion, get the kids home. Like the least the closer we can have campuses together, the less problem we're going to have as far as with buses and with parent drop off. We have a lot of people that are dropping their kids off and picking them up. And I don't even know the statistic there, but it's really high.
and I see that too, because there's an elementary school on this street outside the radio station, and I
Yeah.
think more just in the 5 years I've been here, I think I can't count the numbers day by day, but I can visually kind of get a feel for it. It looks like more and more parents
hmm
are doing drop off and pick up than used to do it.
Oh yeah. That's what we, as growing up, you rode the bus. That's just parents didn't have the opportunity or the means to be running their kids. so much. But in this day and age, that's what we do. We run our kids.
I could just know what my dad would have said. What's the matter? You can't walk?
Yeah. Yep.
But again, when we have these districts that are so spread out, and with schools, and you mentioned all the way out in Hollister, you've got people who are you just simply can't walk in a lot of places in
Yeah.
rural
No.
southern Idaho, and
Right.
so busing becomes necessary, or the drop-offs.
Yep.
And you can't tell people don't drop off.
No.
That will never work.
No, that'd probably make more people want to drop off.
I could just see the reaction at a school
Yeah.
board meeting.
Yeah.
That would become a little tense. We got about a minute to go. Anything else you wanted to add?
Yeah, just that, I actually, I wish more people would have come out and vote. I know when, like I said, talking to people, it was so positive. In my mind, I knew there was some negativity out there, but that was good. That makes us have to get more information out. But we need more people involved is what, these no votes, that's great. But let us know what we need to do. At 448 people voted no. And we want to hear from them. What as far as what can we do as a community? Come to the community meetings. Let your zone representative know what we need to do to make our district the best it can be.
Well, I want to thank you for coming by today, and gosh, we look forward to seeing you again, because there'll be, I'm sure, something that will come along
I'm
in
sure
the
I
form
will
of a
be
new
here.
proposal. All right. I want to thank Julie Coyle for dropping by today. Todd Starnes is on the way in just a moment. We're at 9:30. It's 59 on News Radio 1310 KLIX and newsradio1310.com. Bill Colley with you on Magic Valley this morning.